Hello, everyone. Today we're in the letter of James. We're in the 4th chapter, beginning at the 11th verse. There are really two separate sections here where James is just trying to give practical advice to those reading these letters. And listen to what he says at the very beginning of this. At verse 11, "Don't speak evil against each other, dear brothers and sisters. If you criticize and judge each other, then you will be criticizing and judging God's law. But your job is to obey the law, not to judge whether it applies to you." He goes on to say that God alone is the one who judges. That is not our call. It makes me think a little bit of the 8th commandment, and Luther's explanation for it. As you might recall from your catechism days, the 8th commandment reads this: "You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor." What does this mean? We should fear and love God so that we do not tell lies about our neighbor, betray him, slander him, or hurt his reputation, but defend him, speak well of him, and explain everything in the kindest way. We're supposed to be watching out for each other, is what we're trying to say here. And when we take an arrogant position of some form of judgment, well, then one, we're doing God's job, and two, we're communicating that somehow we think we are better than anybody else. And that's now going down the track of favoritism that James covered before, only this time we're favoring ourselves. Now, that's not to say that when we see a brother or sister doing something that is harmful to themselves or others, that we don't have an obligation out of love to challenge them, to try to point those things out, and be open to hearing those things come towards us, because that's how we help each other grow. In fact, in a way, it's how God can communicate with each of us through one another. But the point is, it's not about judgment. It's about encouraging each other to grow in love. The second bit in today's reading is a warning about self-confidence. It begins at verse 13 saying this: "Look here, you who say, 'Today or tomorrow we're going to a certain town and we'll stay there a year. We will do business there and make a profit.' How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, then it's gone." It goes on to say that you should not make any kind of long-term plans with promises like that embedded in it without acknowledging that God is the one who's completely in control. You have no idea what's going to happen next. I was serving in the Middle East, and a very common word in Arabic is inshallah. Inshallah is Arabic for "if it be God's will." And they would use that a lot. They wouldn't make a commitment necessarily to anything. If I said, "Hey, we're going to meet here tomorrow at 10 o'clock, they would respond, "Inshallah," which is to say, you know what? God may have other plans, but yes, I'm planning to be there. It is important for us to walk humbly in this way, to acknowledge that God ultimately trumps any plans that we might have, and to be holding on loosely to our plans so that we can hold tightly to what God has in store for us. Because when we follow God's direction in our lives, amazing things will happen. And that's the life we all want to live, and the love that we want to share with others. Have a great day, everyone.
If these devotional videos are helpful to you, subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so you know when we post a new video. And of course, please share them with others.